Very important topic that we are going to discuss today is the product backlog. In Scrum, the product backlog is the central repository of all of the work items required to achieve the product goals. Managing the product backlog effectively involves keeping it updated, ensuring the alignment with the product vision, also preparing it for the execution. So these regular refinement sessions or regular grooming backlog session helps the team to stay adaptive to changing requirements. So the product backlog is a dynamic list of the work items in Scrum or in the product or as per the customer requirements. And the effective management ensures the alignment with the product vision. With having a regular refinement sessions is essential to adapt and to have more clarity on these items within the product backlog. What is exactly the purpose of the product backlog? The purpose of managing the product backlog is to ensure it serves as a clear and prioritized guide for the team. It reflects evolving customer needs and market demands while offering a structured approach to deliver a value. And by maintaining the clarity, the teams can align their work with the business priorities effectively. With having these prioritized and organized list of these deliverables or features, this is how you can manage your product backlog effectively. And these product backlog items are prioritized again based on the impact, based on the value, based on the risk, also based on the urgency and the stakeholder or the product owner, let's say, directions. One of these key activities that we talked about is the backlog refinement session. And the backlog refinement involves breaking down the complex items into smaller and manageable tasks, reprioritizing based on the new insights, sometimes also updating the descriptions to enhance the clarity of each of these items. And this process includes feedback from the stakeholders and inputs from the technical experts to ensure that the backlog items are actionable and aligned with the project goals. So again, what is backlog refinement? It's a breaking down the large items to smaller actionable tasks. Also by reassessing the priorities and reprioritizing these items and updating or clarifying the descriptions of each of these items when it comes to be near to the development. Also, it's part of incorporating the stakeholder feedback onto the technical inputs. And an example of having a backlog refinement is by, let's say, a refined backlog item or one of these features that will have a more detailed with its acceptance criteria, with its, let's say, plans to be implemented with its benefits. So this is how you refine an item within the product backlog. By having and setting the acceptance criteria for that item, clarifying how it will work, what is the value, how it let's say it's gonna serve the stakeholders. And with that being said, this is how you refine an item within backlog. When talking about the prioritization in the product backlog, so we looked at some of these key prioritization techniques includes the Moscow and the value versus effort. So prioritization is the heart of the backlog management. Techniques like the must have, should have, could have, won't have, wouldn't have method, and also the value versus effort, which help to categorize and rank the item based on their importance and visibility. So continuous reassessment ensures that the product remains responsive to stakeholder needs and to the market dynamics. But what is the role of product owner in the backlog management? If you recall that we say that one of these key responsibilities of the product owner is to manage the product backlog and to keep the product backlog refined and updated as per the stakeholder priorities. So Owner is pivotal in backlog management, acting as the key custodian or the key responsible person of the product backlog refinement. The backlog work closely with the stakeholders and the Scrum team to define and prioritize the items, ensuring the alignment with the product vision. Also, that their decisions directly influence the team's ability to deliver a value. So, the product owners owns and manages the backlog. Also, he facilitates collaborate with the stakeholders and the Scrum team to ensure the backlog items are well defined and prioritized. And some of these refinement techniques that we haven't seen before is refinement session like story mapping and invest criteria. Invest criteria means that let's say ensures that each of the items or each of the backlog feature or each of the backlog fix or enhancement are let's say independent, negotiable, and valuable, estimatable, and small. And backlog grooming session, it's like a scheduled regular refinement session meetings to ensure that the let's say to keep the backlog up to date and actionable and reflective of the current project state. Some of these challenges that you might face when managing the product backlog, especially when it becomes cluttered with low priority, the low priority items or lacks of clarity in the description on the high priority, let's say, items. Balancing technical and business priorities requires an effective collaboration between the product owner and the Scrum team to ensure alignment and visibility. So, by overloading the backlog with low priority items and ignoring the high priority items, not keeping enough descriptions of the let's say of the high priority items, and also difficulties in balancing the technical and business priorities, this is what are the challenges that you might face on the product backlog management when managing the product backlog. So ensures that you have an effective collaboration between product owner, the stakeholders, and the development team to ensure that all of these items are being clarified in full for the high priority items. Also, to have a progressive elaboration when there is, let's say, a new information comes, then the backlog item has to be updated. Also, working closely with the stakeholder, understanding their issues, problems, needs. Based on that, you can overcome some of these challenges. The benefits of having an effective backlog management or backlog management. So, effective backlog management ensures that the team focuses on high priority deliverables, also improving the productivity and alignment of your team. It also enables a faster responses to changing requirements, keeping the project agile and relevant to the stakeholder needs. Let's look now at one of these real world examples of an effective backlog management. So, in an e-commerce platform development, there was some couple of features or couple of items that were supposed to be implemented during the development of the e-commerce platform. And the team here used the Moscow method to prioritize the features based on, let's say, its impact, based on its urgency to be implemented, such as the payment integration, also to implement the user profiles and search functionality. And this prioritization technique and understand to the business based on the value of these features, this focus on critical deliverables has ensured the timely launch of the commerce platform, meeting the stakeholder and customer needs, also, let's say, meeting the evolving needs of the market. And to summarize our session on the product backlog management and the way of how we can manage our backlog or the product backlog, we looked at the refinement session, the refinement meetings, also the prioritization based on the value urgency, also using the methods like Moscow value versus the effort prioritization methods. So product backlog management is the cornerstone of Scrum, ensuring the team works on the right task at the right time. With having a regular refinement and prioritization and collaboration, keeps the backlog aligned with the product vision. And this approach supports the agility and maximizes the value delivered to stakeholders.